Hello there, welcome to the 90 Plus Podcast, episode 2. Today I'm joined by my co-host again, Liam. My
Hello.
name is Paul. So we're going to obviously just thank a few people before we do kick off what we're going to cover tonight. First off, I want to say thank you very much for all the people that subscribe to our social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and also the YouTube channel. So thank you very much. What are you saying to our followers so far, Liam?
I think the support so far has been really immense. I wasn't actually expecting so many people to obviously engage in the comments, and just so many people to kind of support the kind of project that we've obviously had under the wraps for a wee while now. So obviously, thank you to everyone who's obviously subscribed, comment, like we said, and just keep on obviously interacting. And if you've got any ideas, feel free to fire away in the comments. And we'll take on the suggestions and go
Absolutely.
ahead with it.
Absolutely. Also, make sure you click the notifications on YouTube. That'll obviously any content that we do in shorts and also any live content stuff like that. Make sure you do that on YouTube. Also, a big shout out to Nick Morgan, who Liam messaged the other day. He's given his permission to use his song for the intro, so thank you very much. Great song. I know it was used for Germany a couple of years ago, used for the USA, going to Boston, Berlin. Fantastic song. So thank you very much, Nick. I really appreciate you letting us use it
Yep.
as well. Also, a big shout out to Craig Ferguson, who's obviously doing a lot for mental health charities. He's done it in Germany. He's done it again, going from LA to Boston. I'm guessing he's almost there yet because the game is obviously on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So big shout out. I know people have been following his Facebook story. Fantastic mental health charity for men is a big thing, as we know. So well done, Craig. Good luck with the last couple of days. And hopefully, you never know, might bump into you in Boston. Good luck. So I want to kind of kick off with the domestic side of things before we do look into the World Cup side of things tonight. Obviously, it's kicked off, Liam. We watched the game earlier on, but how excited? Well, let's cover the World Cup first off. Obviously, it's kicked off. We go away tomorrow. It's kicked off a couple of hours ago.
Yep.
What do you think about the buzz around leaving tomorrow for us?
Oh no, I think the full anticipation of the kind of tournament is really starting to kick in now. Obviously, you watch the news with obviously STV, BBC, and you're seeing obviously Edinburgh and Glasgow Airport. It's
Dublin as well, by the way.
Oh, Dublin as well. It just
Yeah, all over the UK, to be
all
fair.
over the UK. Yeah, to be fair, including England, unfortunately. But
Right, come on. We do have English followers. Come on.
yeah. Everyone's just obviously kind of buzzing. There's that kind of full atmosphere around the country that we're actually believing that we're actually going to make a good impact in this tournament and such. You've got Pipers playing at the airport. I've been told it's absolutely packed, which is quite rare to actually get in the airports nowadays as well. So yeah, no, it's just a brilliant atmosphere to have and be around at this time.
Yep, and we'll be on that bandwagon tomorrow morning, on its way, on our way. I'm only joking about that. Anyway, but yeah, but we're on our way tomorrow. We'll be going from Glasgow to London, London to New York, and then on to Boston. So we're excited about that. We're looking forward to it. I'm sure the airports are going to be absolutely jam packed tomorrow again. We'll be arriving tomorrow evening. Well, we'll be
Up early.
up early tomorrow. So we're really sorry about the late broadcast of it, but we'll get there. So, just kind of touching on with regards to the domestic side of things in Scottish football. My topic was obviously Martin O'Neill wasn't going to be announced, but we got the announcement today from Celtic. 1 year deal with an option to another year deal. I know Celtic fans are happy with it, but the main talking point, I think, is his backroom staff's not been announced. Sean Maloney and Foringham have not been mentioned in any of the documentation.
Yeah, no. So it was out this morning that the the board have been you know cutting out wages for some of the backroom staff and stuff, and it's kind of worrying because after the success that they've obviously had within the squad last season, and the kind of reward is not getting like obviously a good contract, obviously getting wages cut and such. I feel like it's kind of like a kind of escape method for the kind of board. They're not obviously
Do you
looking.
think that sums up the board, though?
It quite literally does. To be fair, you've had 6 months. I said this last week. You've had 6 months to get a recruitment plan in phase and all that for obviously a new manager and such. And the best you can come up is obviously Robbie Keane and obviously Martin O'Neill, which is obviously just relying on Martin O'Neill again, which is I just feel really bad from, because if we don't win the league next season, then it's going to look really bad on the Celtic board, and I feel like it would tarnish Martin O'Neill's reputation as that kind of fairy tale ending, which obviously he got kind of last season, and such. But the Sean Maloney and Mark Forvington, if they don't get in, then obviously you're probably looking towards Scott Brown and Johnny Hayes as probably the next people to come in as in the backroom staff. So it's
the thing is though, they advertise that Celtic's got money there. They always seem to penny pinch. I think personally, they always look for a bargain. There's nothing wrong with a club doing that, but the problem I have is if Celtic are saying they're rich as they are, the richest team in Scottish football. I know the Scottish football's not as big as the Premiership in England or around the world. I know that we're one of the poorest leagues. Like I said in the previous podcast, Celtic champions only get 4.5 million, so not a lot. But the thing is, Celtic are probably the richest in Scotland, and the thing is, Maloney and Foringham done very well, done most of the work, and Martin Hill said it many times in his interviews. He's just there, he's learning from these coaches himself.
Yeah.
Martin Hill's a great man manager, people pleaser, a people person, and that's the thing is, like, he is incredible with that side, but the coaching side of things, he'd done it previously when he was there, he left it to his coaches. So the thing is, he wants a good backroom staff behind him, and for Celtic not to cough up the wages to get Maloney and Foringham, who done a fantastic job last year, hate to say it, to be honest, but they done a fantastic job. Why not, like, appoint them and give them money they need?
Like I said, it's pure greed from Dermot Desmond and obviously the board. When you look at, obviously, Celtic fans, we're wanting to get the board out, we're wanting to get that kind of fresh restart and all that. Obviously, I don't think we're going to get it. It was announced as well this week that Michael Nicholson will be a part of the SPFL boards this season.
Right, okay.
So I think that's a clear indication that things will not change in the Celtic hierarchy this season, which is kind of worrying, because if we don't start off the season strong, I think there's going to be a lot of backlash. And I think this
that was a favourite word in the last podcast, backlash.
I was backlash, to be fair. But I just think all the contrast and the kind of emotions, what were kind of felt mid-season between obviously the board, the Green Brigade, the Behoys and stuff like that, it's all just going to kind of spoil over again, and we're going to kind of get a full cycle of what happened last season.
And that's the thing is, like, it doesn't. Martin O'Neill has, like, brought the fans and the board together. There's no doubt about it. Well, not really, but the fans are still, like, pissed off with the board. There's no doubt about it. But the thing is, he's brought the club together again, and that's something that's a big thing for the fan base. They all came out in force in that last 5 games. You saw it outside. You saw it outside Parkhead. You saw it in the stadium. The atmosphere, again, hate to say it, but the atmosphere was unbelievable in that last 5 games.
The fans get the team over the line at the end of the day. If the fans are not there for the final 5 games, we're nowhere near, obviously, in that title race in the first place. I said it time and time again, when the fans have been banned, obviously, for likes against Rangers and stuff, like no tifos and stuff, then you can just see that kind of the lack of energy at the start, and it's going to be kind of lackluster performance. But obviously, if the fans are there, then obviously the team just backs the team, and it's basically the 12th man at the end of the day. And like Jockseen said, football is nothing without the fans.
Spot on. That's a fantastic statement, yep. And so, obviously, the rumours are that Celtic will be backing Martin O'Neill with a big budget. Rumours are 40 million. We obviously talked about a striker, very important in this transfer window. There's a few linked. I can't recall the names, to be honest, at the top of my head, but obviously a striker is a big priority, because Kyogo left 3 windows ago and still not replaced. But the question is, to finish up with the backroom staff, before we move on to something else, is that, do you think that Maloney and Foringham will get the wages they need, or do you think it will be who you said?
I think it will be Brown and Hayes.
Brown and Hayes, okay.
Day, yeah.
Okay. And just to kind of touch on something as well, Celtic obviously announced that Stephen Welsh was leaving. I thought he had a fantastic 6 months at Motherwell. He really went in, and I think he was a decent player. Just a few words in regards to Welsh at Celtic. Do you think he had a fair opportunity?
I don't think he was gifted like the same opportunity, or was kind of seen as a kind of a full first team level centre back at Celtic. He was always the kind of that rotational centre back. was always in and out of the starting 11, but we've never really got a full kind of run of games. But he went to Motherwell. He took his chance and stuff. He helped Celtic at the end of the day win the league by obviously
Thanks for reminding me.
by obviously going to Ibrox. Helping beat Rangers and also scoring against them at Fir Park. But fair play to Stephen Mills. He's came in. He's won treble after treble with Celtic. He's done. He's played for his boyhood club, won many trophies, and he can go with his head held high, I think, and good luck to him in the championship. And
I think as I say, I thought he was one of Motherwell's best defenders last. He done a very good job. I think he'll do very well down south. Swansea's a great maybe stepping stone for him. Do I think he's Premiership class in England? Probably not yet. But I mean,
still time to
adapt. And I think moving down to the Championship, which is a very, very competitive league as we know in England.
Yeah.
I think it will be a good move for him. Absolutely. Also as well, I've seen that Celtic have announced 3 pre-season friendly fixtures. They play Shelbourne, Sporting Lisbon, and AC Milan.
Mm-hmm.
AC Milan's at Parkhead, Glamour. Obviously, it's about a week after the World Cup final, but I don't expect any of much Scottish players or Celtic players.
Rested,
but obviously they will get rested. So it's a good wee couple of games for Celtic. They played Sporting Lisbon last year. They won 2-0. McGregor scored. I can't remember who scored the other one, but they won 2-0. I was reviewing. So really, it'll be a good couple of games for Celtic there. So that's a couple of things as well. Also as well, just to touch on Motherwell and Hibs find out who they get in the Conference League next week. So we'll obviously we'll cover that whenever we find out. Probably be in America after probably 6 o'clock in the morning covering that. No, we'll be in our bed. That's a guarantee. But I think it will be interesting to see how they get on. It's very difficult for teams like Motherwell and Hibs, I think, because they're unseeded, so it's difficult ties, isn't it?
I think Motherwell, it'll be interesting to see how they have kind of adapt, obviously, post Jens, because obviously they're still. I feel it's the side of kind of football they kind of play is going to kind of change drastically, and we'll kind of see how they play.
They I think we touched on it before. Motherwell were the best football team in Scotland for me. It will be interesting to see who they actually bring in as manager. I don't think they've appointed anyone yet, have they?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think they have, to my knowledge. But it'll be interesting to see how they adapt to a new manager. So it'll be interesting. Motherwell will be an interesting team to watch. Hibs, Boyle obviously staying on for the next year. He was linked with Aberdeen. And I believe the story was he talked to his daughter. His daughter was asking why he was leaving Hibs. And she said, he said, "You know what? I'm going to make a decision to stay there." So I actually listened to what he was saying at the end of the season. So that's a big bonus because Boyle's a big player for them.
Yeah, I think he's a big influence in the kind of dressing room and stuff.
Were you surprised he wasn't called up for Australia?
Yeah, I was, to be fair. He did get called up in 2022, but obviously he pulled out the squad because he had a knee injury. But Martin Boyle's obviously he's been a great servant to Hibs. If you look to someone to counter-attack goal, you're probably looking for Martin 100%. Boyle, and obviously experience at his age as well.
Yeah,
Hibs captain. So
no, I was surprised as well. For the Australia squad, when I seen it, I think he would be my number one pick. But again, we don't know what happens in Australia. We only know the ones
just for a reason. To be fair,
exactly. But that's why we're on a podcast instead of managing. So just to kind of we'll move on to Rangers. And obviously news today that Danny Rohl, and I know you made a wee joke in the group chats, Sausage Joe and all that. Less of that, Liam. We don't want that in the group chats. But Danny Rohl is linked with Salzburg. He's obviously part of the Red Bull. It was part of the Red Bull side of things. It seems like it's going to happen.
Yeah, obviously quite breaking news, to be fair. Like
it came out of the blue, I think.
Just out of the blue, yeah. But if you've got Jurgen Klopp, who's director of the kind of the Red Bull
right, I forgot
project and stuff like that.
Good.
And
good
he's
remember.
Obviously picking you as a kind of manager or main candidate. You're gonna obviously kind of go for that project, and obviously it's an easy route into other bigger jobs in the future as well. I think if you're a Rangers fan, I think I personally, if I was a Rangers fan, I'd be willing to go for that, and obviously look for a replacement.
Yeah, well, as I said, what was kind of strange is the ownership has come out at the end of the season and backed him. And this is all of a sudden came like weeks later. Like I said, I think a lot of Rangers fans were disappointed there with the last five games. You cannot go 4 defeats at Rangers. That's not acceptable at that level. And that's the thing is like you just it's you're in the title race with 5 games to go. Rangers favourites. I think you even said that yourself, Liam. And that's the thing is like if you cannot get beat 4 games.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to happen. I think it will. Who do you think if Danny Rohl was to go? I know you're a Celtic fan, big one. Well, but who would you like to? Who do you think? Sorry, not like because I don't think you care. But
well,
who would you see as a replacement?
Well, I think it's between probably 3 candidates. You've probably got obviously your classic kind of Gerrard. You've probably got maybe McInnes.
Why'd you call it classic?
Well, every time you replaced a manager, Gerrard's name's always in that kind of pool of managers. To be honest,
is that because he stopped 55 or 10 in a row?
Stopped 55.
Well, stopped 10 in a row.
Less said about that, the better.
Okay.
But we
so I bet say 10 in a row.
We won't go into full detail and all that, but
But yeah, it's because he stopped 10 in a row. That's why. I think a lot of Rangers fans do. But the thing is, Gerrard had a fantastic. He won the title convincingly. It was a COVID season, and I know a lot of fans say it was COVID.
I don't rate Gerrard that highly though.
Yeah, a lot of people said that, but he is a big favourite amongst the Rangers fans. And that's the thing is he had a good run in Europe, and also he won the league. Domestic cup competitions wasn't great. It was actually pretty poor, I think. But the other one that I think I just feel like it could be time with Shankland leaving at Hearts. I think Hearts are going to lose McInnes. I think he could be the one that could potentially take over as well. I think he will be heavily linked if Danny Rohl leaves.
Yeah, but I feel like he's in a better position than now with Hearts. Obviously, than Rangers, obviously finishing above and higher last season. I feel like the backing of Tony Bloom as well.
Yep.
He'll feel more confident under their recruitment system as well, especially. Is he going to be guaranteed to get the players he wants at Rangers as well? Especially after spending the money they did last season.
Owners wanting 40 million, 50 million.
As the owners wanting to spend that much money again, there's a lot of question marks asked as well with McInnes if he would want to make that switch.
Yeah, I know he's been linked with Rangers for many years in the past. When he was obviously at Aberdeen as well, and there's been a few occasions, and again, rumours are that he knocked his back. But the thing is, I just feel like obviously Hearts are bringing a striker. That takes one to the point of Hearts are bringing a striker from France, Amadou Bassé. I don't know much about him, but I did read that he scored 11 or 10, 11 contributions. The rumours are that they've spent 200,000. Obviously, they use analytics. But I mean, we'll obviously say is that Shankland's replacement. But the thing is, with the way Hearts, I think, are going to have a lot of players leaving. I think Braga. I think you touched on Braga.
I think Braga, like I said, one more season. Last week.
But obviously, I just feel like I think it might be time for McInnes. I know he's a big Rangers man.
I mean, he's only realistically he's only been there one season. If he was to move on, I think it would be maybe at the end of this season.
So you think one more season at Hearts?
Yeah, because I just think what he's obviously kind of built, we want to give it another shot. Even if he try and win, Hearts like a cup this season, just so we'll say he's got that something to be proud of as well to go along with his second place finish.
If it's not, so obviously I personally think it will be McInnes. I think or Gerrard, they're my two. But if I had to choose one, I think McInnes would be the one because the thing I just feel like this is his time to maybe make. And Hearts have had a fantastic season. Are they going to be as good as they were? I don't know. I don't think they are. I think you mentioned fourth in the last podcast. I tend to agree. I think they'll struggle this year with the amount of football they might play. Potentially they're going to have at least 6 Europa League ties if they get knocked out of the Champions League. It's going to be a big test for them. But I just feel like the right move would be to move to Ibrox now for him. Because the thing is, if they go in for him again, reject it, it's like, how many times are Rangers fans going to say, right, you've knocked his back?
I think this is the last opportunity for McInnes.
Absolutely.
If he does actually want the job. Obviously, he is an ex-player as well. and such. And I do want to obviously touch up as well. Another one outside of Canada. I'm not saying obviously this is gonna happen, but an outside candidate, what I could see obviously maybe actually going to Ibrox is Rob Edwards. Obviously, he just got sacked out of Wolves today.
Yeah.
But I just see that as a kind of perfect kind of fit.
Well, there's also one name to throw in the mix as well as Kevin Muscat. He's one that's always been linked. Obviously, we seen Ange when he came over here. Muscat obviously played for Rangers before. He knows Rangers, and that's the thing is like his play style of football is supposed to be attractive, just like Ange was. Muscat is always one that rings a bell, but I just don't think that he would be the right man. But the problem is, the embarrassment is, from my point of view, is the ownership backed him.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, he's like this has came out of the blue. But the thing, I just feel, is he missing home? Is Germany? He wants to go back to Germany. Is the appealingness of like
I think maybe the pressure might be too much for him. I think he's got himself in hot water, and he's kind of tasted the kind of how hot it can get, and also the backlash you can also get.
There's that word again.
There's that word. You're gonna get a wee counter going for that.
I feel like it's WWE or backlash.
But just the kind of the conflict, what going on between the fans and stuff, and you know how bad if results don't go obviously for you, the fans can turn on you. Obviously, look at what happened to Russell Martin and such in the job.
Absolutely. Well, as I said in the last podcast, or the last episode, should I say, is I would prioritise the league over Europe. I'm very strongly about that. In fact, but the problem is if he gets off to a bad start in Europe, which then he's the pressure's already on. But yeah. The rumours are tonight, as of this moment, it looks like he's going to be going.
Yeah,
it's back to square one again for Rangers. We just don't know. It'll be very interesting in the coming weeks. We need to, if he does go, we need to get it sorted. A wee bit like Celtic's backroom staff. We need to get that sorted.
Yeah.
Again, it's just like I feel like could we be in for another roller coaster of summer with the Old Firm?
Mm-hmm. No,
or the Glasgow Derby, as you call it.
Yeah, quite literally.
Why'd you call it the Glasgow Derby?
I don't know. Rangers died in 2012.
Right. Okay. Less of that, you. But yeah. So obviously we'll go into the Hearts side of things. We talked about the striker. What's your views on analytics that Hearts use? Do you feel it's been? I mean, they've obviously brought in Braga, who was unknown from the Portuguese second division. What a season he had! We don't know much about this French dude. This obviously came in as a striker. Do you see that Hearts is that the replacement for Shankland with 200k they've spent, or do you think they need more?
No, they'll need more because looking into his analytics on paper, he scored 6 goals last season with 3 assists, and the season before he scored another 6 goals. And he's at the age of 25, so you're really starting to come into your kind of prime years. So you should realistically at that kind of age, you should be bagging at least 10. And I think he came from is it the second division?
Yeah, second division, and again, Braga came from the second division in Portugal. So second division France, don't know much about it, and I'll be honest, put my hands up.
Yeah,
but the so just to get back to that point, the analytics is obviously what they use. Tony Bloom is what wonders at Brighton. You've got to praise him for that. Brighton's a very, very established club, but they've done very well year on year. They bring in a lot of good talent from Europe and outside Europe. They obviously build them up, sell them on as well. So Hearts are obviously trying to do that model. So do you think, is that something you feel more clubs should actually adopt to analytics?
Yeah, probably, yeah, because I would say if you look at the record as well, obviously he took over the club in Belgium and Union Saint Joan.
Yep. No, you're right. I think, yeah.
And obviously they've not won the league in over 64 years.
They won the league, didn't they?
They won it within two or 3 years, I'm pretty sure. So obviously it's well worked, and they brought in players like Victor Boniface, sold him on to Bayer Leverkusen, and look what he done from there on. So obviously I think the track record of the statistics and stuff are really working in the last 10 years, and I think that's kind of the way kind of football is moving towards as well. The more kind of tactical side with obviously analytics and stuff as well.
It'll be interesting to see if there is more clubs that will jump on that bandwagon. Just a wee kind of point on Aberdeen. Obviously, Stephen Robinson came in around about February, March after the transfer window, so it was a bit difficult time for Aberdeen. Obviously, after the defeat at Dunfermline, which was like probably a pumping, to be honest with you, it was a disgrace if you're an Aberdeen fan. You wink there, Dave. But no, in all seriousness, and Aberdeen side of things is Steve Robinson's a great manager. He's well established in the Scottish game. He's done extremely well. Obviously, it was too late to bring his own players in. I'll need to do my research on who's Aberdeen. Aberdeen have signed a few players, which we'll cover in the next one. But just with regards to, do you think Steve Robinson, what authority and what stamp of authority do you think he'll bring in that Aberdeen team? And you obviously think they'll finish third next season.
I think they'll bring a lot more discipline, and Aberdeen will be a lot more defensive next season.
Yeah, they don't.
They'll be a lot more solid. Like they play a lot of, I think, probably like a low block and stuff. Obviously, Stevie Robertson, he knows the league very well. Obviously, he's managed up Motherwell, St Mirren now as well.
Yep. Gets about, doesn't he?
Yeah, no, he's done really well in the league. Obviously, won the League Cup last season now. So he's got.
Yeah, St Mirren never got over the hangover, I don't think.
No, and I think the main thing what he wanted to do with Aberdeen when he came in was obviously just keep them up. Obviously, that's the kind of, I think of it like as obviously Leicester with Ranieri, obviously kind of keeping them up and then obviously kind of building off from there. So we'll see where Stevie Robinson's doing. Obviously, I'm not saying Aberdeen are going to go and win the league. Obviously, no one.
Well, Dave says it every bloody time. Every season, Dave says that Aberdeen are going to win the league, and I'm still waiting. Still waiting for that one. But moving on, moving on to Scotland then. We obviously missed the game on Saturday because we went to see a film. But Scotland, obviously, I think we were pleasantly surprised when the film finished and you looked at your phone and Scotland were 4-0 up against Bolivia.
Yeah, so it was the half time when obviously we got at the cinema, looked at the phone and we were 4-0 up. So it was pretty. I
think I actually gave a handshake to the guy behind me. And I said we're going to win the World Cup.
Well, there you go.
I've made my prediction.
Yeah.
Made my prediction. Well. But it was Ben Gannon-Doak was unbelievable when we saw the highlights. The directness, he gives you something different. Mm-hmm. He really does. And do you know what? Scotland's been lacking that for a long, long time.
When you think about it, I think I was talking to you about this the other day. The last actual proper attacker or winger I remember Scotland having is Anya. And if you think about that, that's like 2015, 2014.
Yeah.
And like, the great thing is, obviously, Ben Doak is only about 20, 21. I think he's only.
Yeah, he's very young. He's best buddies with Curtis. I've seen them in so many videos in the build-up.
I think it's because they're both in the same
age rank. So makes sense.
Perfect. And obviously, Finlay is obviously that kind of same position as well.
Yeah.
On the wing, and I think it's just going to be so dangerous with both of them. If they obviously Clark utilises them. Both in
absolutely,
the wings.
And that's the thing is like what the pleasing thing about that game is that we played two up front, and I'll take credit for this. I did say that Shanklin Adams should be the two, and I know you said Dykes and Shanklin, so I'll take 1-0 to me. Is that 1-0 to me?
We'll see.
Is that 1-0 to me?
Well, we'll see on Sunday.
Well, I still think that'll be the top two. That'll be the two up front.
Okay,
it's 1-0 to me.
Okay, 1-0 now.
So the thing is as well is that obviously the opening goal, Robertson crossed down, Shanklin headed at the back post. Seems to be he's on a good bit of form. He scored against Caruso, and obviously scored against Bolivia.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like the buzz of the move to Rangers. Obviously had a great season at Hearts, but the buzz of moving, he's on a high. He's looking forward to coming back to play for his boyhood dream. Sorry, I'll restart that. The dream of playing for the team he supported.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing is like Shanklin, great goal. Fantastic goal at the back post. Then it was again the directness of going down the wing with Ben Gannon-Doak crosses in. Shea Adams obviously finishes it.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Ben Gannon-Doak picked it up, dribbled by three players, passed it to Adams. Then he kind of shot, was blocked, came back to him, good finish. And then McTominay obviously scored as well. The third goal, just before Adams made it 4.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really decent performance. Just to quickly read out the team to you, Liam, and see what you think, if this will be the team that you think. I know you think Dykes, but just to read out the team. So they started with Gunn, and then it was a 4-4-2 with Robertson, Henry, Hanley, Hickey, Christie, Ferguson, McTominay, Ben Gannon-Doak, Adams and Shanklin. McGinn has not played no McGinn, and there's rumour. I mean, I've been reading some of the things that McGinn, they might, like, people were thinking McGinn's going to be dropped. Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not. So my question is, apart from McGinn, do you think that's the starting 11? And if McGinn was to come in, who do you drop?
See, it's a really difficult, because everyone in that team deserves to be in that team.
100%.
Because everyone's got their obviously their own individual qualities. They all pack a punch, and like if I was to take someone out, realistically, it'd probably maybe be like probably Christie out
Yeah.
of that kind of team. But then, like you've got a chance, like we said, to maybe put Finlay Curtis in the team. Like I
Do you
said,
think, like,
Dykes.
oh, here we go again. But I think so my question, so yeah, Dykes is obviously, I don't think he'll start against
I
Haiti.
generally think he'll start Dykes up top
Do you think so
on
still?
against Haiti, and then
Right, okay.
Morocco and Brazil.
Right.
He'll start Adams.
So okay, so obviously we both agree on McGinn.
Mm-hmm.
I think the team that started there is going to be more or less the start 11 apart from McGinn. I really do. I just don't see Finlay getting a start. I think Ben Gannon is probably just ahead of him right now because of his.
Would you take Doak off for Finlay
100%?
in the
Yeah,
latter stages?
yeah, 100%. Like because Garen Doak has got some amount of energy. He's direct. Finlay's got the exact same. So, I just think Finlay and Ben Gannon are very similar. I think they're very good. Finlay's very, as we talked about, the loan spell at Kilmarnock helped him, developed him as a player. I just think they're very similar. So I think Ben Gannon is just ahead of Curtis at the moment. But I just feel like it's a very solid. I think you're right. Christie will drop out from again. I think Gunn will be the number one. I think he is going to be. But I think I was really happy with the 4-4-2. I think it worked really well. He has to go with two up front. We've said that so many times. He has to for this particular game because he can slightly change it around about the bigger teams, like for example Brazil.
I think he's got so many good formations now. Like he's
tested it.
He's tested the squad in so many different formations, and the squad have obviously played in so many different main formations as well now. So they're all kind of used to it, obviously, and he can use it to his own disposal and such, which is pretty good.
So you think still Dykes? Is it Dykes and Adams then?
I just think Dykes.
You're dropping Shanklin to the bench.
No, I'll go Dykes and Shanklin.
Right, okay.
Obviously, Shanklin's the striker on form.
Yeah.
And I think Dykes' physicality would just go hand in hand with the Haiti defence.
Yeah.
And in Morocco and Brazil, you've got Shea Adams that will just run for you.
Yep.
As well, so that's
the defence you're happy with.
I think I'm pretty happy with it.
No, that's fair enough. What do you think the score prediction in against Haiti? Because obviously we will do more content within America about predictions and stuff with Scotland, but obviously we'll do one again tomorrow. But at this, what's your gut feeling right now? And we'll obviously recap again before the game to see if you change your mind.
I'm going for Scotland to Haiti. No.
Yeah, that's the one I thought. Who's scoring?
I think Shanklin, and we'll score a set piece.
And who would score that?
Oh,
is it direct from a set piece?
We'll say Jack Henry.
Jack Henry?
Yeah.
Wow. I think Shanklin will score, and I think I'm going to go for Mr. McTominay.
Scott McTominay.
Yeah, I think.
Can I go wrong?
I think McTominay. But what we're going to do is we're going to take a wee quick break. We'll do the second part where we'll do me and Liam's World Cup predictions. See who's right and who's wrong. At the end of the tournament, you can leave comments, of course. And I think I'm going to beat him. Anna? Yeah, come on. Thanks, guys. Welcome to the second part of the 90 Plus podcast. We're going to cover the World Cup. It's obviously kicked off tonight with a 2-0 win to Mexico. Obviously, first half, the first 20 minutes, it looked like a dominant performance with Mexico throughout the game, and it was pretty comfortable, I thought.
Yeah, I didn't think South Africa really troubled Mexico at all throughout the game. Like, obviously, there's a lot of talking points with a lot of red cards. There was actually quite a few bookings compared to what I thought there was going to be probably one or two, but obviously there was quite a few. And yeah, Mexico just looked really comfortable, like you said, throughout the game, and obviously, good for them.
I mean, it started pretty lively. Mexico were on the ascendancy. They obviously got a good goal in 8 minutes, and then they were kind of dominant. So I think South Africa probably only had a couple of shots out of the game.
Yeah.
They were very, very disappointing. Obviously, they had a red card, 2 red cards. Mexico had one. Um, Obviously, there's new rules that get put into prospect in this World Cup. There was one that we noticed, particular where it was definitely a corner kick for South Africa, and
never checked it on
never checked
VAR.
it, and you're like, what's going on there? So that was a bit of a kind of worrying thing, that if they're implementing these rules, why are they not sticking to them?
Consistency. I think that's going to be a big key thing, and I think it'll be a big eye opener for the first match day to see how consistent these refs are. Obviously, we've had 3 red cards in the opening game, which is quite mental to say the least. You know, there was 4 red cards throughout the full of the Qatar World Cup, which was the last one. And then obviously you've got these new rules of about 5 seconds to take a throw in. You know, if a player goes down injured and then the medical staff come on, unless that player, the opposition player who's been booked for that challenge, the player will have to sit at the sidelines for a minute and until obviously they're allowed back on the field. And it's going to be interesting to see how long or FIFA stick to these rules the full way through, and all these referees actually stick through, because as we've already seen, one of the referees have not even done what they're obviously meant to do within the rules.
I mean, I mean, I don't know what you thought, but I thought the first red card was correct. The second one, I mean, some of the angles, and then on, I think it was on the ref cam. I did notice when Shithole, sorry, gets sent off. So I mean, that's I think it was the right call, but the one for Mexico was a bit dubious.
At the time, I thought
It's
a bit risky. To be fair, like, he's just wiped him out. Obviously, the guy's going. He's kind of going away from goal. Obviously, it's not.
Is that goal scoring up? I mean, I know we can revert back to, I think it was Trusty that gets sent off at Tynecastle, and there was a big debate: is he going to actually get? You know, there was a covering defender. Is there enough time for that defender to kind of close in on the striker? I don't think it's like a goal scoring opportunity to me.
Well, obviously, if the striker gets past the defender,
I know he's going at pace, but
if he gets past him, then obviously you're talking. He's a free, obviously through and goal.
I get it. I get why they're sending off, but I mean, you don't know if that the South African defender Mexican defender is going to actually cover.
Like I said, it's consistency. If they're going to give red cards for that all throughout the tournament,
then it has to be. But that's
fair enough, right? But if it's obviously just a one-off and the Mexican guys only get sent off for that, then obviously we've got to look.
And that's the thing, is like, if they are, I mean, 3 already in one game. I think we're going to get a lot of red cards in this tournament.
Did you think the referee had a good performance tonight?
It's a very good question. I think the two out of 3 are correct. I think the 2 for South Africa were correct. I think the third one, it's debatable for me.
So the second red card for South Africa, obviously he didn't send them off originally.
Yeah.
He did go to the monitor.
Yeah.
Did have a wee check.
But he had a really good position for the second, I thought, in the ref cam. I mean, obviously it seems like the ref cam is going to be used a lot. I know they started to introduce it into Europe and stuff like that. They don't have it in Scotland, I don't think. Well, no, they don't. But the thing is, I think that's going to be something that's going to be introduced, which I think is a good thing. It means that they can see. I think he's in a really good position to make a decision himself. But I know it was VAR that intervened. But how can he not make that decision himself?
Do you think that's enough force for a player to theatrically go down like that?
I mean, he's not held him. I mean, it's a wee bit.
It's kind of like
it's a slap
in the ear, isn't it?
And I know if you raise your hand, you hit a player, it's a send off. So he's probably got it right. Well, VAR's got it right, but I think the referee's in a good position to make the decision himself. And but just touching on South Africa's performance, really, really poor.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a first World Cup since 2010.
Yeah.
When they hosted it, you can see that. I think they touched on it tonight in commentary, that most of the players are based in South Africa. So, did they get enough exposure to this level? Probably not.
Yeah.
Mexico, I mean, there was a handful of players. Jimenez scored a great goal, cross into the box, great header by him. He's obviously just signed for Wolves. I think Mexico should be proud of the performance. They were it was the atmosphere looked incredible. Less said about the opening ceremony, the best. The best. Sorry, the opening ceremony was absolute gash. To be honest
Well,
with
it's
you.
America. What
Well,
do you
it's the
expect?
Mexico, not US.
Well, yeah.
It's not. It's not US.
US,
US has
Mexico.
still got to come. We've still got that to come. But yeah, in all seriousness, Mexico were very, very impressive, but they've got tougher. I think they've got tougher tests against South Korea and Czech Republic,
Yeah,
or
definitely.
Czech as they call it these days. But I think it will be. I think Mexico should be proud of that performance. Touching on Group A, then we're going to obviously predict who we think the top two are going to be in each group. So looking at Group A, with Mexico winning that game, who is your top two in that group?
It'll be Mexico, and I think out of Korea and Czech, I would say Korea to get second.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I think that's the two I would go with. There's no doubt Czech Republic had a great qualifying campaign
Yeah.
in Europe. They were extremely the physical side. I think and I think they could do very well. I think it's very close. It depends on the game this morning between those two later on. It will be very interesting to see how that pans out. But I think Mexico will. Who do you think will be first out of Mexico and Korea?
Mexico.
Yeah, I think they will as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I'm not going to debate on that one with you. I think you're spot on. Group B, we've got Switzerland, Canada, Bosnia, and Qatar. Who's your top two there?
I think the Swiss will take top of the group.
Yep.
I think the Canadians will finish second.
Right, you've been reading my sheet.
No, I've not.
You have.
No, I've not.
100% have.
Two good minds.
Well, okay.
That's
I don't know.
quite rare for ourselves.
After a few beers, I don't know if I've got a good mind, to be honest with you. You know what I
mean? But yeah, Bosnia third, and who's the last person?
Yeah, so Qatar.
Qatar, yeah.
I tend to agree with the top two. I can't argue. I don't know. Canada could sneak into that top spot for me, but I just don't know. I mean, a few people were saying like they think that Canada, the three hosts, are one of the ones that will do better than one of the three hosts that will do the best. But I just don't know. I don't know. I think Canada's probably the weakest out of the three. I think personally. I think USA and Mexico are a lot better. We'll touch on Mexico in a few moments. USA in a few moments. But I tend to agree with the top two. Switzerland, very good established team. Very, very hard to break down.
Yeah, I think they've got tournament. They're a bit like obviously kind of Scotland. They've got tournament experience now. Really good squad. Obviously, a lot of their older players are a bit more senior now. Obviously, they've had a good couple of deep runs in the tournament and such. So be interesting.
So we've agreed on 2 out of 2 so far. I think we're going to have a few debates, surely. Yeah, I think we will. Group C: Brazil, Morocco, Scotland, Haiti. Top 2 there.
I think I'm going to go Morocco, Brazil, Scotland, Haiti.
Okay. I'm going to disagree with you here. I think Brazil will win that group. However, I genuinely think we can sneak second place. I'm going to give Scotland a real opportunity that we can actually do it. I really think that we can get 4 points, and I really think that it's either we need. I think like Morocco will probably beat Haiti, and I think
I feel like you've just got to write that everyone beats Haiti in the group.
Yes.
I know, no disrespect to Haiti. Obviously, they deserve to be at the tournament and such. But
what's going to be? I think Morocco and ourselves will be 4 points. I think goal difference is going to be important. But I think Brazil will score more against Morocco than they will against us, and that's why I think Scotland will finish second. I know I'm probably going to be jinxing myself when I watch this back and when I listen to myself and
here's hoping that we've lifted the World Cup.
Well, we'll get to the winners later on.
We'll see.
If you've got Scotland, then if you've not got Scotland, then you're getting chibbed.
True.
I'm joking. Delete that. But no, in all seriousness, I think Scotland can finish second. I really do. I think. And do you know what? Like, the reason is because we've got a lot of really, really talented players who play in England. We touched on it on the last one. England, Italy, and obviously we've got high established players in the Premiership, especially Andy Robertson, John McGinn, Ryan Christie, all playing high levels.
A lot
Playing Gannon Doak as well. I know he's not had much game time, but
a lot of captains within the squad nowadays.
100%.
And such.
And McTominay as well. Lewis Ferguson all playing in Italy. So we've got really players that know now. I mean, know how to win. You know, and we've got a really, as we touched on it, we have got a really club mentality.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, I just feel like we can sneak second.
Yeah.
And you're third. Are you definitely saying third?
I just think we won't have enough to get second.
Okay. I'll take third as long as we get through.
Mm-hmm.
But
I do think we will get 4 points. Like I do think we'll either get a point
but
against
you think
Morocco
or
Brazil. But
well,
I just think
who then? Morocco or Brazil?
I think it will be Brazil. I think
really.
I do think we'll get.
Do you think it's because Brazil are already through with 6 points and they might rest players, or do you think Brazil?
I don't know. I just don't. Well, I don't fancy Brazil as big times this kind of tournament.
Okay.
But
they've had the poor qualifying campaign, haven't they?
Yeah, but I think he's trying to get into the routine under Ancelotti. You know, Ancelotti's never really managed at international level before.
But well, what an established winner though.
Oh, he's one of the best in the business. I hold Ancelotti as high as regard as Sir Alex. You know, he's won so many. How many Champions Leagues? 5. He's won, I think, European league titles in about 4 or 3 or 4 the main domestic leagues and such.
He's and I know this is I know they did struggle, like I said, to qualify. They're obviously the only nation that's qualified for every World Cup.
Yeah, well,
and you know, I watched the documentary of '94 and like they obviously let themselves down in Italia '90, and you know the passion of that documentary on Netflix we plugged there to watch it. But generally, like the passionate of the Brazilian people, do you know the pressure of like being a Brazilian player must be so hard?
No, 100%.
I mean, it's established. It's like millions and millions of people, and the pressure because like they're passionate about their football in Brazil.
Well, when you think about it, the last time they won the World Cup was it 2002?
Yes, I think it was. Yep.
So now what's that? 24 years since they've won. The World Cup, and they've won it. They've won it the most times.
Yeah.
You know, this is the longest time that Brazil's not won any obviously World Cups or anything like that.
But do you think a quick question before we move on to the next group is the fear factor of Brazil gone? Do you think, or should we still fear them?
I would say it's kind of over the last couple of years. Yeah, definitely. Obviously, you think about looking at squads. You got Ronaldinho. You know, say Ronaldo. You know, even prime Neymar, Rivaldo.
I'm going to put on record. Neymar. I've never rated Neymar. I've never rated him at all.
We could go into a full debate about obviously the Neymar and obviously has he actually contributed a lot to football or not? But
not for me.
We'd be here for a long time.
That's another debate.
Yeah.
But yeah, fair point. I think they have lost a wee bit of the fear, but they're still world class. I mean, you cannot deny it. You can't.
100%. Their squads, well over billions, and you know, Vinicius Junior alone. Yeah.
But you know, his record in international football is actually not that great, and that's what's surprising because I was watching a stat. I've seen a stat this morning, and he's only got 9 goals for Brazil, I think, or something like that. And that's the thing is he's really done well for Real Madrid. How he, I don't know why he can't adapt to, and that's where I think it goes back to what I was saying, the pressure of playing for Brazil. Like that country is like expecting so much on 100%,
and I think that's something that you know, Ancelotti is trying to get out of Vinicius. You know,
they're hard to break down though. They are hard to break down.
Obviously, they've got the best partnership probably at the World Cup, and Marquinhos and Gabriel.
Yep.
You know, both Champions League finalists.
Yep.
One better than the other. But
well, we know who you don't like. You were very, very vocal when Gabriel missed that penalty.
I think every Scottish fan would, to be fair. Unless you obviously are an Arsenal fan, but the less said about that, the better.
Well, I'm not an Arsenal fan. I can't stand them. Oh, sorry, Arsenal fans. But moving on to Group D, Turkey, Paraguay, USA, and Australia. Who's your top 2 there?
I'd go for the US, Turkey, Paraguay, and Australia.
Yep. So my top 2, I think I agree with you there. I think USA and Turkey. I think, and I agree with you there. So 3 out of 4, I do agree. I think USA will be the strongest out of the three nations that's hosting the World Cup. I
Mhm.
just think like the fan base, they're not. I mean, they've got a good talent. They've hard to beat, I think, and they've got a great manager,
Mhm.
a fantastic manager, managing the Premiership, Pochettino, very very good, well experienced, gets the best out of his players.
So
I,
what separates them from Mexico?
um, I just feel like USA have got more kind of quality about them, more
Mhm.
experience, more kind of just that kind of
Would you say they're more kind of tournament ready, or?
Mexico are normally do qualify for the World Cup, but so does I believe USA do as well. I just feel like with the big hype, I think the fans are going to be a big part of it. I know they're not on the pitch, of course they're not. Of course they're not. It's up to the players.
If you hear some of their chants, I'll get right behind
Well,
them.
I don't know about that. I mean, they say soccer.
Yeah, it's being sarcastic.
We need to make sure when we go over here, it's football.
Yeah.
If we say soccer, if you say soccer once over there, I'm disowning you. I'm being serious. You cannot say soccer. You can't say
It's
soccer.
the football only channel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't say soccer, even though it's banned, very much banned. But yeah, I think they've just got a bit more quality and a bit more experience about them.
Yeah.
And so I feel like they will be the best out of the
Yeah, no, I'm in the
host
same
nations.
boat as you there, yeah.
Moving on to Group E: Germany, Ecuador, Ivory Coast, and Curacao.
So
Just before you answer that, do you know Curacao have got 26 Dutch players? It's like a second division. It's like a second um, nation for Holland. There's not one of them that actually from that. It's like a B team for Holland.
hmm,
Do you know that?
I actually never knew that.
Well, there you go. So they announced they announced players who are not officially from that nation,
Mm-hmm.
and Curacao 26, and they're all Dutch. It's like that. That's why Dick Advocat manages them probably. But it's madness. Like they're all from Holland. So there you go. There's a wee start for you.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can research after this.
Oh, there you go.
I'm not talking shit. I do talk shit sometimes, I must admit, but I'm not talking shit about that.
Yeah, that's bad.
Why?
Rambling on.
But anyway, who's your top two?
I'd probably go Germany, Ecuador, Ivory Coast, Curacao.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Germany. Sorry, I think it'll be Germany, Ecuador, the top
Yeah.
two, 100%. Ecuador, I believe, was second in the South American qualifier.
Yeah.
Very, very good campaign. I think they beat Brazil as well.
Beat Colombia.
Beat Colombia. So very, very good. Potentially could be one of a lot of people's dark horses.
Yep.
I don't think they'll win it personally, which we'll come into the winner later on. But yeah, I think Ecuador will do very well.
Mm-hmm.
Germany, well, we can talk about Germany. They're well established European side.
We know them very well from
yes,
the Euros.
Yes, we do. Our fellow German buddies. It was what a time it was, but Germany will probably win the group. I do tend to agree. It will be interesting to see how Germany adapt to the heat and stuff like that because and like most European sides, it's going to be difficult.
It's a change of climate, yeah.
And that's the thing is like I was listening to again something earlier on today. It's not about the playing part. And this heat is more like the recovery, and that's where it's a bit more difficult. But yeah, I tend to agree. Out the two that you mentioned there. Next one, Group F, we've got Holland, Japan, Sweden, and Tunisia.
So I'm gonna go Holland, Japan, Sweden, Tunisia.
Yep. Again, I'm going to be controversial. I think Japan wins that group.
Okay.
I just feel like they're a very, very good side. They're hard to beat. Their work rate is absolutely second to none. I think Japan wins that group because they just, I mean, they were great against. They beat England at Wembley. They beat Scotland at Hampden. I just feel like Japan are going to be one of the dark horses.
I just feel like Daizen Maeda kind of turned you here.
No, he's definitely not.
It's too quick. He's too quick.
Well, he's too quick for my brain. But Holland. I'll explain later on what we're going to discuss later on. But Holland, I think, are going to have a disappointing World Cup for me. I just don't know why, but I just feel like they're lacking something. So I think they're lacking something at the moment. I just feel they're going to struggle, which I think they'll finish second. I still think they'll go through, but Japan to win that group for me. Next one: Belgium, Egypt, Iran, and New Zealand.
I'm gonna go Belgium, Egypt. I think New Zealand and then Iran.
Yeah, again, I do agree with the top two. Belgium, I think they're going to have a good World Cup. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think
I think.
Belgium are going quite under the radar. I think the expectation for them are kind of went out the window a wee bit.
Mm.
Obviously, the big mega stars of obviously Eden Hazard's now gone. De Bruyne this is obviously his kind of last tournament with them. He's kind of the same with Lukaku. So they've got a kind of younger generation starting to come
Yep,
through
yep, they do.
for the door nowadays.
The boy from Atlanta is really good.
Or Charles de I'm just gonna call him Charles. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce his second name.
I did put you on the spot there, sorry.
Yeah, to be fair.
But I think Belgium will do very well.
Yeah, I put them last as well. Obviously, the full controversial thing of them not having any fans, the Middle East conflicts and stuff, the
Iran,
US.
Yeah,
so it's understandable with that.
How do you think Egypt finished second? Obviously, Mo Salah. But Mo Salah's obviously left Liverpool, and he's obviously, we don't know where he's going to go. But how do you think his World Cup will go?
I don't even think he'll be the star man of Egypt. I actually think it'll be Marmoush. I think he's going to have a really big.
Man City boy, is it?
Yeah, yep. I think he'll have a big impact, and also he'll have a kick-on season with City.
Yeah, tend to agree with top two. Moving on to Group H, we'll get Spain, Uruguay, Saudi Arabia, and Cape Verde.
Yeah, I think it's just exactly in that order, to be fair.
Yeah.
Not trying to be disrespectful to Cape Verde and such, but obviously when you've got the European champions in there, along with obviously the first ever World Cup winners, it's quite hard competition going.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that format, but I'm going to throw a spanner in the works. Saudi Arabia beat Argentina before. They are.
That's true.
They can be that kind of
underdog.
They love that mentality, I think, Saudis. But yeah, I tend to agree. I think Spain are just like joy to watch. The generation that just keeps coming through in that country is just unbelievable.
Would you say Spain are the favourites?
One of them.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give you my winner right now. So I think they are one of the favourites. You've got. There's no doubt about it. Obviously, they won the Euros a couple of years ago. They've definitely got to be one of the favourites for.
Oh no, 100%.
For obvious reasons. Uruguay, obviously, like I think they'll win. Obviously, I think
they're in the same boat as Belgium. Obviously, they've had their kind of older generation are starting to move on, and they're starting to get a couple of young players coming through. You obviously, Suarez has not kind of made the tournament. Cavani, he's not at the tournament here now. Then you've got obviously Valverde's come through, so he's going to be obviously kind of leading the team. You've got Ugarte. Araujo as well. So there's some good players. I just kind of see them as the kind of same boat as Belgium. They've not got a lot of expectations, so just go out, have fun, and see how far you kind of get in the tournament.
Yeah, and there's no doubt about it. I think Spain will probably win the first two games and probably rest players that third.
Yeah,
because obviously it's a long tournament. Uruguay, I think, will beat Saudi and Cape to kind of secure their 6 points. Spain will probably win all three, even though if they put their B team on or C team, whatever it may be, they're still a quality side. They've got so much talent. So yeah, I tend to agree with you there. Moving on to Group I, we've got France, Norway, Senegal, and Iraq. Top two there.
I'm going to say same again. I'm going to say really boring, but I'll say France. I feel like they kind of walk the group here. Norway and Senegal, and then was it
Iraq?
Yeah. Sorry, yeah. Was the last one?
Yeah. Senegal did beat
Morocco,
France
yeah,
in 2002. 1-0.
I wasn't even alive then.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
God, I'm showing my age. Senegal, I don't know what it is, but France seem to struggle against African nations sometimes. Again, I might be totally wrong.
Well, they have just lost to Ivory Coast in their friendly.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like they seem to just struggle against the African nations. But so Senegal, I tend to agree with what you're saying, France and Norway, but Senegal seem to I don't know why France struggle in that kind of game situation. It seems like the Africans are very compact. They kind of sit in and then hit you, and obviously that's exactly what the African teams are about. Like they're very pacey. They can hit you in the counter attack, and then you're in trouble. But I do tend to agree with the top two. Norway's in the same boat as us. 28 years since the last time they were at a World Cup. I'm actually kind of delighted to get Haaland on the world stage. I think he deserves it. He's had
consistent.
I know he's young. He's got plenty of time.
Yeah.
But how do you think he'll do this tournament?
I think he'll obviously get just kind of 1 or 2 goals, and obviously if he does get further, then he'll probably pick up a couple more. But I don't think he'll go too far or with kind of goals and such. I feel like Odegaard might have a kind of wee bit of a better tournament than him. Obviously, Odegaard, I feel like he does have a bit more responsibility. Obviously, he is captain of the nation and stuff as well, so there may be a bit more expectation on Odegaard as well.
Yeah,
especially after the season that
Arsenal
have just had as well.
Won the Premiership, Champions League finalists. They were going for all 4. Yeah, he's had an amazing season, Odegaard. I do agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, we're on the same wavelength. It seems like we've kind of agreed, apart from a few. But we've got a couple more to do. So Group J, we have Argentina, Austria, Algeria, and Jordan.
So I'm going to go say Argentina, Austria, what was it? Algeria, and then Jordan.
Yeah, I tend to agree with the top two. Argentina, very easy group. They should canter that.
Yeah,
I think Austria's probably a difficult game.
Mm-hmm.
Had a good campaign European wise, but I think Argentina will give Messi the 3 out of 3. Obviously Messi, I think's like only had 20 minutes in the build up, the warm up games. To be honest, he's not had much of a start since obviously warm up games were.
I think Messi will be able to adapt pretty well in America because he's obviously played there, so he's kind of used to the climate and all that as well. So I think that's a big factor for Argentina. Whereas obviously if he was playing in Europe and came over, he might be a less obviously sharp.
Yeah,
and stuff.
And I tend to agree. Martinez is obviously a big player. The striker I'm talking about there. The goalkeeper's fantastic. He's had some
Alvarez as well, big links with Real Madrid,
McAllister as well.
Yeah,
very very strong team. Probably again one of the favourites. We would probably agree.
That's why they're the holders.
The holders, yeah, 100%. We obviously there was a couple of. I was looking at something today that there's a few curses before up until a certain point where the holders who won it were out in the group stages the next World Cup. But it came. I reviewed that it was actually. I think it stopped at 2020, 2018. Mm-hmm. But it was weird how it was going. So Argentina, I think will canter that. They don't need to worry about the group stage. I don't think. Moving on to Group K, we've got Portugal, Colombia, Congo, and Uzbekistan.
So I'm gonna have Portugal, Colombia, Congo, and then Uzbekistan.
Yeah, I think the top two speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Portugal, Ronaldo, I should have mentioned, like Messi, last World Cup.
Yeah.
Last hoo-ha, as they say. There's always a debate. I've never actually asked you, are you a Messi or Ronaldo fan?
Oh, I just enjoy them both.
So you can't pick?
No, generally.
You're Switzerland and being on the fence?
Generally, yeah.
Right, okay.
I love them both the same.
God.
They made my childhood.
Yeah.
Of obviously watching football, both competing for the Ballon d'Or. It was Barca versus Real Madrid. You know, what more could you ask for?
Yeah, I think. I mean, I'm more of a Messi and Ronaldo fan, to be perfectly honest. But I do respect Ronaldo, what a player he is. I just feel like the difference between the two of them is like Messi's more of a team player more than Ronaldo's about himself. Sometimes I think, but as he's got older, I think Ronaldo is becoming a bit better with being.
I feel like I think he's really important for that Portugal team.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
With his experience and then maturity towards the younger players.
No, you're right, and that's what I've noticed in the last the last tournament, and also this tournament. I feel like he's starting to be that leader.
Yeah,
he's always been a leader. I'm not saying he's not, but he's kind of like started to started to kind of help these youngsters, and that's good. But on the point, I watched Portugal the other day in the warm up match. The midfield is so strong.
Oh, it's the best around. Like
the passing's unbelievable at times. The quick passing.
The PSG duo is the best I've seen since that kind of prime Real Madrid area of obviously winning the three-peat. Obviously Modric and Kroos. I think Vitinha and João Neves is the closest players. I've probably gotten close to that.
Mm.
And obviously if one of them win, obviously if Portugal have a good run in the tournament, even win it, well, you've probably got to have a Ballon d'Or shout for one of them, to be fair.
Yeah.
And obviously you've got Bruno Fernandes in there, who broke the Premier League assist record, and also won Player of the Year in England. So on paper, they've probably got the best midfield in the tournament, but there's obviously so many teams that have obviously got a great midfield as well.
No, 100%. Colombia, yeah, I agree with you there. Second. So last group: England, your best friends, Croatia, Ghana, and Panama.
So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to put England top. Surprise, surprise. They probably will walk the group. They should be walking the group with that with the squad they've got.
Yeah.
Second, I'd probably put Croatia. Obviously, third Ghana, and then last I'd put Panama.
Yeah. I think Ghana will be hard, like most African sides, as I said. Like I think they'll be difficult to break down. I think they'll give England a game. I think
they've got a lot to prove, because I don't think they had a good AFCON.
No, they didn't.
I think they've got to pick themselves back up and prove a point in this World Cup.
Absolutely. I think Panama will be the whipping boys of this group, unfortunately. England looked really good against Costa Rica. The weather in Florida was unbelievable. Did you see it?
Yeah, it was hit and miss, wasn't it? With the rain and then sunny.
Well, that's the thing is, like,
what to look forward to.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But how that pitch is like half an hour after, it's just like there was no rain at all. Mental. But I think England will canter that. Harry Kane has had an unbelievable season with Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
Just a couple of questions around England, though. I know we are a Scottish podcast, but I just really wanted to kind of touch on a couple of things that they were obviously debating. Rodgers or Bellingham?
I don't know. See, I don't like either of them.
Right.
To
Okay.
be honest, to be frankly honest, if I had to choose, you'd probably say Bellingham.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong, Rodgers is a good player. Like I would say, if you're wanting that odd goal or that special moment, obviously he can produce it. He can bang it in the top corner. I've seen him do it in the Champions League, obviously against Celtic. Obviously, and he just does it week in, week out for Villa. Obviously, Bellingham, he's a Galactico. He's one of the best players in the world. And he gives that work rate and never die attitude as well, to be fair to him.
Yeah, and what about Gordon and Rashford? Gordon obviously taking Rashford's place potentially at Barcelona.
Barca, yeah. Gordon's a weird one, because I feel
a great game the other night. Great game, Gordon.
I feel like he's obviously just that kind of counter-attacking player. Obviously, he'll fit Barca in perfect, because that's what the kind of setup is. Obviously, fast on the attack and such.
Yeah.
But Marcus Rashford, obviously year in year out, he's obviously been really Mr. Reliable.
Yeah.
Not only for obviously United, but obviously England as well. And that's it. And he proved it when he went to Barca. But it'll be interesting to see if Gordon.
It will be
as well as what he did.
Yep, absolutely. And Croatia, Modric. Final World Cup for him. What a talent that boy is. Absolutely unbelievable to watch. It will be a difficult game for England, the first one. I think they will edge it, unfortunately. Like I said, I think Croatia will do very well. I think they'll probably get their 6 points again. Well, probably. I think Ghana can take a point off of Croatia.
It'll be interesting to see how well Croatia do. Obviously, they've done really well in the last 2 World Cups.
They have actually.
They got to the final in 2018, semi-finals, and third place in 2020.
It's kind of been under the radar.
2022. Obviously, the squad has got really old. Obviously,
that's the problem.
A lot of new players coming in. Obviously.
A lot of experience, though.
Yeah, there is a lot of experience within the squad, but a lot of the old guard have left the squad now.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't surprise me if they don't have obviously a really good tournament.
No, I don't think so.
And such, I think a lot of people are holding them to a high standard because they've done well in the last 2 tournaments.
Is that like, I know you said that they're holding them to the high regard, but I think I've not heard anyone really talk about Croatia.
Yeah, obviously there's so many nations to talk about though.
Well, there's 48.
48. It's the most there's ever been in a World Cup.
Yeah, that's what's exciting about it though. So many more games, and it's exciting.
So that's why there's so many more players.
Yeah, fair point. So we're going to pass over to you. You've got a couple of things you want to kind of run by. Obviously, we're touching the group stages, so over to you, my man.
Yeah, so obviously I asked you to note down some predictions and stuff for the World Cup and all that. So I was just going to technically ask you, who do you think would be like the kind of player of the tournament?
So I had a couple of options. I had Dembele, I had Elise, Lamine Yamal. My top 3. I personally think you've got to go with Dembele. I just think like
Ballon d'Or winner.
the Ballon d'Or winner. I just think like he's had unbelievable season with PSG, delivered the Champions League. We'll go to the winners. Do I think he won the World Cup? We'll find out soon. But I think Dembele just edged it over the other two. He just has so much ability, and he's just had an unbelievable season. Again, he's just a joy to watch, and that PSG team with him in it just makes it even 10 times more.
Yeah, the counter-attacking football. Obviously, the stats last year, the start of last year, he scored about was it 20 odd goals within 6 months or something like that. It was absolutely incredible. To be fair, you know, I'm on the same boat with Olise. I think Olise will be the player of the year. I just think what he's done at Bayern this season is
He was a close one for me.
Was absolutely incredible. Also, I did watch France recently as well, and obviously he scored a hat trick against Northern Ireland.
That's
and
right.
I just thought, you're adding that, and he's not even getting played centrally. He's getting played more to the right, so he'll probably be like in obviously playing playmaker a bit more.
Yep.
I just think at least he's one of the most dangerous players in the world right now.
Yeah, like I said, it was a very close between the three of them. Lamine Yamal has obviously got a question mark with his injury at the moment. I think he's getting back to fitness. We don't know if he'll start that opening game, but it was a very close one between the three. But I just think Dembele just edged it for me.
That kind of leads me on to my next talk about then. So if Dembele is your obviously main player of the year,
yep,
who's going to be?
I think you know where I'm going.
Who's going to be your young player?
Again, it's between two of them, Olise and Lamine Yamal. And this time I'm going to go with Olise. I tend to agree with what you said there, Liam. Very, very good season at Bayern. I think he's played 56 games this season for Bayern. His contributions, assists, goals. He's just been unbelievable to watch. And the friendly, he kind of like, I was going to go Lamine Yamal until I always think he would be the player of the tournament, youngster player of the tournament. But watching that performance against Northern Ireland in the season he's had, you've got to generally say Olise for me.
See, the thing is with that Bayern, obviously Olise being a part of that Bayern front three, with all of them, him, Diaz, and Kane, they've got over 100 goal contributions this season. That's absolutely incredible for a front three. You know, not even the prime MSN got that, or obviously BBC with Benzema, Bale, and Ronaldo. And such, but I've went for a quite interesting young player, and it might spark one of the teams that I think will do well as well. For a young player, I've actually went Arda Güler of Real Madrid.
Yeah, the Turkish.
Yeah, Turkish boy.
Good shout, by the way.
So I do think Turkey. I think that group is going to do quite well this season. That will obviously lead into my next prediction later on. But
I think you've given a spoiler.
Oh, we'll see. But I think he's really underrated in that team, and I think that Turkey team is going to go under the radar. I think they're quite used to the climate and like the kind of environment of the weather of America. They've probably got like the best kind of heat in Europe as well to kind of deal with. Yeah. So I kind of think
that's it here. By the way, again, you've got a very valid point. He has been under the radar, and I think he had a good Euros as well, didn't he? He had a really good Euros.
He scored a banger.
Banger. And that's the thing is like I think it's a great shout. He could do very well. I think that's a good shout. Yep. Next one.
Right, who do you think your overachievers will be?
Morocco.
Yeah.
I just think like the last World Cup, they got to the semi-finals.
They got the semis.
Yeah. And I think obviously we know the debate about the whole Senegal Morocco match. Whatever. Morocco's been named. I don't care what you say. Senegal won it, right? But anyway, that's the debate. Morocco are the African champions supposedly, right? But I just feel Morocco just look good. They're so pacey that like again, as I said about the Africans, they're very hard to beat. They're compact. They're very pacey. They're difficult teams to beat, and I just think Morocco are going to be the ones that are going to surprise a lot of people.
They definitely will surprise a few. I think again.
Yeah. I think Morocco for me.
No, fair play. I think the USA will do pretty well this tournament, and I think they might even get far as the quarters, which I think is a big push for this USA team. Obviously, I think a lot of the Americans are a bit up in the clouds with oh, they're going to win the World Cup and such. Obviously, I don't think they've got the squad good enough for that, but I think Captain America will just get them just to round about the quarters and such. If they do well enough, they might even get to the semis and such.
Really, that far? You think you guys will get to the semis?
I do think they'll overachieve.
Wow.
This season, so
fair play.
We'll see.
But you're really confident about that.
Yeah, I do think it's. They've got a lot to prove. It's
of course, it's a tournament, isn't it? Well, it's a three host, but it's a tournament in a sense.
Yeah.
Most games are. Okay, next.
Your underachievers.
Holland. I think I touched on it when I was talking about I just feel. I mean, we really should not look much into warm-up games. I mean, the real thing started tonight, or last night now, isn't it? But I just feel there's something lacking about Holland. They're just not. Do
you think it's the turn of the old guard?
Yeah, very good point. It just feels like the golden generations, kind of pass by. I mean, they've still got great quality. There's no doubt about it. Van Dijk, really good. Guapo, really couple of good players there. But I just feel they're lacking something. I really think they will get to probably the last 32, the last 16, which I feel if I've done the prediction right, I think they can play Morocco, and I put Morocco through. And that's the thing is, I just feel they will get that group, but they'll struggle in that knockouts.
I just feel that I do actually agree with you a wee bit on that sense, and I normally do back the Dutch in every kind of major tournament.
Big shout out to the song though. The song's fantastic.
Oh yeah, the left to right song and such.
Brilliant.
But yeah, no, just the kind of midfield or Frankie de Jong. Other than Frankie de Jong, you've not really got a big strong midfield in there. He's been ran into the ground this season with Barca as well. He's had a couple of injuries and whatnot. And even up front, like, they've not got really a lot of attacking power or someone, who really excites you. I think someone who Xavi Simons obviously is doing his ACL as well at the end of the season. I think that's a big blow for
the Dutch
attacking talent for the Dutch this as well. Because obviously he did score in the semi-final against England.
He did,
and the last Euros and stuff as well.
I mean, the friendly match they scored like 2 penalties, and they're just lacking. I think they're just past that stage of like where the generations they're not coming through. I mean, I'm not saying that Dutch football, is not bad, but I think they're just slightly ahead of the Scottish game. I think it's not a great league like ours. I mean, I big up Scottish football, of course I will, but we're not one of the big guns, and the Dutch are the same boat. I know they've got a lot of talent in England and throughout the Premiership, of course they do in England, but yeah, they're going to struggle, I think, this World Cup for me. What about you?
I've actually just mentioned them there. I think it'll be England. I just don't think they'll have a good tournament.
Right, we're going to get the English. We're going to get
absolutely probably slated by all the England fans.
Sorry.
There's probably not many, but fair play if you're watching a Scottish podcast.
No, there's a few English that do subscribe.
But I just think there's so much the usual with England. Obviously, the big build up. Oh, we're going to do well and all this.
It's coming home.
It's coming home. Here we go, and all that. But I just think the pressure on Tuchel. I just think already he's on the bad side of the fans. He's picked players. Obviously there's no Cole Palmer in the squad.
Yep.
I think Phil Foden.
Harry Maguire missed out as well.
Harry Maguire, Phil Foden was a big miss as well. Apparently,
there's a few surprises on the squad.
There's a few. Obviously, they've got so many names. Obviously, you can't take everyone in the squad.
But they've got a good talent pool. That's the problem.
They've got a really good talent pool, and I think.
But it is surprising the two you mentioned, Cole Palmer and Phil Foden. Absolutely.
If you think about all the promo work and all that Cole Palmer's filmed for the World Cup, and he's not even in the squad. But to be fair, it does reflect on his kind of season he's had. But less said about that, the better for him. I just don't see England going that far. I don't. Like, they may win the group. I think if I matched it up right with the group stages I've done, they'll get Portugal. Is it the round of 32?
I think it was, yeah. I don't know the top of my head.
Yeah.
Round
of 32 or 16.
I think it's the 16. Yeah,
round
of 16.
And I just think no. Yeah, I think it is Portugal.
The 16.
Yeah,
it was the 16. Yeah.
And then they would get put out. And I just don't think they're better than that Portuguese squad.
Yeah, I think you got a great point there, because I think England do expect to get to the semis at least. I think. I don't think they're not. I don't think they'll win it, but I think if they're 16, I think it could be potentially seen as a failure. Yeah.
Yeah, well, if you look at the way they got to the kind of Euro final, they relied really heavy on individual performances to get them over the line and such, and they just didn't play any good attacking football. And obviously, it was under a different manager, but I just don't think they'll do well. But the expectation is really high for them.
Of course, it always is. Who's next?
Who do you think your top scorer will be?
Oh, I went for a kind of like, I was thinking about a kind of out the box type player, but is he out the box? Because I'm going to say that is it Israel from Spain, the Real Sociedad midfielder, had a great European qualifying campaign. I was actually doing a wee bit of research when I was picking my top goal scorer. I think he's done really well in the qualifying campaign. Spain have got a lot of talent, but I think he scored a number of goals. I can't recall how many exactly off the top of my head, but he was one I was going to pick. However, I did pick him in my wee bet, but I think Harry Kane. I'm sorry to say, I just think the season that man's had.
He's got the track record.
He's got the track record. Yeah. Obviously, you think England are going to be underachievers, but I just think like the group stage is going to score a barrel that will keep him. You know, that will get him that Ballon d'Or, the top goal scorer. Sorry, not a Ballon d'Or, but the top goal scorer of the competition. I just feel you'll get that golden boot for the World Cup.
No,
What about you?
Well, I've actually went for a weird one. To be fair, I think I've got probably slated for this. You know, there'll be a few names and stuff, but I've went for Bruno Fernandes.
Okay, I can see why. Takes penalties.
Set pieces.
Yeah, set pieces.
I just think the season he's
in
had.
fact, Ronaldo might be taking the penalties for Portugal, I suppose.
You never know. Even if Ronaldo starts.
That's the thing. Is like, does he last 90 minutes? That's the thing. But Bruno Fernandes, yeah, Fernandes has had a really good season at Man United. Really good. Obviously back in the Champions League, and that'll be a boost for him. But yeah, I think he'll have a really good tournament. I tend to agree with you. Who's next? What's next?
Who would you say is your player to watch for the tournament?
So I've obviously said Dembele, Elise, so I'm going to go with Lamine Yamal. Yeah, I think he is the player to watch. Like 17, 18-year-old, got that massive pressure on your shoulder already. He's already shown up in the Euros a couple of years ago. Unbelievable tournament. Scored a great goal against France, if you remember.
Yep.
I just think like he is the player to watch. Unbelievable talent. He's
the next wonder kid of our generation, or the next generation.
Spain keep producing their wonder kids, and they really do, especially at Barcelona. But I just feel you just don't know what he's going to do. He's so trickery. He's got so much trickery about him. You don't know if he's going to go one way or the other. Really, really direct as well. Can cut inside. He can score unbelievable goals. Can create, score. Like I said. Yeah, I think he is the player to watch. Like I said, Elise is up there as well, and as well, great youngster. But I just think Lamine Yamal is the one to watch.
No, I 100%. Lamine Yamal is one of the best players in the world, and he's only 80. He's turning 19 during the tournament.
Okay,
and such. Yep. I've kind of went for a kind of off the radar kind of player. I don't think he gets talked about as much as he should, and I've actually tend to kind of liked him in the last kind of probably this kind of season. He's kind of stood up and took his chances a bit more. I've actually went for Jeremy Doku, obviously of Belgium and Man City.
What season had? Yep.
I think this season he's really picked up his form for City. Obviously he's scored in the big moments. Obviously he didn't get the title over the line with Man City this season, but obviously he's won the League Cup, FA Cup, and I think he's going to be a big factor of why Belgium do well this season. Obviously, or not season, during the tournament.
I know you meant.
Obviously, you've got the likes of Lukaku and stuff in that team. Watch, are the proven track record of. But I think Doku will fulfill footsteps of like Hazard and stuff like that, and will really deliver.
What footsteps to fill in if he can do it?
Yeah, but I think he will really deliver for Belgium this tournament.
Great shout. Really good season at Man United. Man City, should I say? Really, really good season. Yeah, I can't argue with it. I think he is. He's probably under the radar when it comes to players of the tournament. He will be decent to kind of watch. But no, good shout there. What about who's next?
I was going to say, finally, well, going down to the final two,
Well, but I think I know what's coming.
who's going to be a runner-up?
Runner up for me is going to be the current holders, Argentina.
Argentina.
Yeah, I think they'll go through very easy in the group stages. They'll have a few difficult games en route to the final. Of course they will. I'll obviously see my winners in this, after yourself for runners up, but I just think they'll just fall short at the last hurdle. They'll get to the final, and I'll tell you my winners, but it will be probably penalties. That's going to be one.
Do you think it's going to be penalties
Penalties,
again? Back-to-back
Back
years.
to back years.
Back-to-back years.
Yeah, back-to-back penalty shouts for the winners, who I'll reveal in a sec after
Okay.
you. Who's your runner up?
So I've actually went for France as the
Okay.
runner-up.
Yep.
I just think
A lot of
the
people's favourite.
quality of that team is sensational. Like, if that team doesn't get to the World Cup final, I think they've got a lot riding on. Obviously, it's Didier Deschamps' last tournament as a head coach.
Yep.
He's got experience of winning it. They've obviously been in the World Cup final last two back-to-back times. You know, if Mbappe gets there, he'll be the first player since Cafu to get to back-to-back World Cup finals.
How many times did you say back?
Back-to-back. France is what I would go for.
Good stuff. My winner, the generations, I think we touched on it already, coming through in Spain are unbelievable, like Barcelona. Just a point I was wanting to make is there's no Real Madrid players in a Spain squad for the first time, and that is really, really interesting, I think. But my winner's Spain. I just think they're current European holders, championship holders, really, really decent to watch. Unbelievable talent from goalkeeper right through to the attackers. Midfield's really strong. Pedri,
Such a baller.
What a player. Like I said, the Aruzzo, sorry if I said that wrong, from Real Sociedad. They've got obviously Lamine Yamal that we've already touched on.
You got Ferran Torres.
Torres again. He delivers so many goals
under the radar.
Yeah. And you know what? Like, he could be a good top goal scorer pick for a lot of people. 100%. That man scores a lot of goals.
You don't really see this spectacular with Ferran Torres. It's more running the box. He reminds me of a kind of a Lil Abada in a way. Always running in the box. He'll be in that 6-yard box to tap it.
You're comparing Lil Abada to Ferran Torres?
Yeah, they're both ballers.
Right, okay. Right, come on. We're talking about like Ferran Torres that plays for Barcelona here.
Yeah.
Right, okay. And you're talking about a Celtic player in the same sentence?
Celtic player.
Well, ex. Yeah, I know he's ex. But anyway, did he?
Right, I'll move on to my winners anyway. So
it's all about you. On you go, my man.
Yeah, it's all about me too.
I know, you made up the topics. Yeah. Even on you go, my man.
Right, so the winners of the World Cup are going to be Germany.
Yeah.
I genuinely think Germany
under the radar, aren't they?
Under the radar.
Yeah.
I think people are sleeping on them. You know, I've seen a statistic that they've hit the World Cup finals in the last 10 years.
Yep.
And I just think they've got the firepower, and they barely lost to Spain in the Euros. Obviously, I think it was a really dodgy decision that obviously went against them in extra time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if they take Spain to penalties in the Euros, I think they'll probably knock them out.
Yep.
So I just think Germany, I think they have a really good balanced team. You know, if Florian Wirtz obviously turns up, you know, Musiala, obviously
Musiala, that's one player that we never really discussed about the young players. He's unbelievable.
I think he will have a good tournament as well. Musiala
scored against Scotland, didn't he?
He was a part of that
Munich, unfortunately.
That game, yeah.
But what a player he is! What a player he is!
I think the injury at the last tournament in America really did affect him this season. Obviously, he didn't really come back and hit the standards what people probably expected of him.
Mm-hmm.
That Leonard Carl,
Germany.
No, it was
America, was it?
The Club World Cup.
Oh, the Club World Cup. Yeah, so he did.
He broke his ankle.
Sorry, so he did. Yeah, I forgot about that. Actually, I thought I was just double checking. Sorry, I thought you meant like the last tournament, as in the. Just checking.
One each. Yeah, but Leonard Cardle obviously took his place in the Bayern team, done really well. Obviously, unfortunately, Leonard Cardle is not a part of
That's right, he got
the
injured, yep.
squad because
Saw
he
that.
did get injured.
Could be talent him, by the way.
Yeah, but
Good
the
result.
only thing what worries me about Germany maybe not winning, well, obviously I've predicted them to win, but obviously the one downfall we'd probably say is they've probably not got an out and out striker.
Yeah, I mean that's been a problem for them sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, a really good choice. I think we're all excited around the World Cup. It's the biggest one in history. 48 teams. One team is going to get that dream of lifting that famous trophy.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I say Spain. You say Germany.
Uh,
So we've obviously made our predictions. Let us know what you think in the comments. Also, as well, please do. Who do you think's right and who's wrong? At the two of us, obviously, give us your own opinions, of course.
Yeah.
We'll see at the end of the tournament who's right and who's wrong. Maybe one each now. I don't know. What you one each about?
Yeah, there's definitely one each.
Why is it one each?
Because you got me in the first half, I got you in the second.
That's fine. But guys, I really thank you very much for listening. Obviously, we'll get this podcast out hopefully later on today, maybe tomorrow. Obviously, we're travelling, so we will try and get this out as quickly as possible. I would like to just say, please do continue to follow our social media platforms, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and our YouTube page. Make sure to like and subscribe, share it to your friends, family. We're just having a ball doing this. It's a bit of fun. We're passionate about our football, especially in Scotland, the Scotland national team. We really do appreciate you subscribing so far. But like I said, we will have all our social media platform channels all on this YouTube page, and we'll do short videos as well. But listen, we will do live content from the US. This time tomorrow, UK time, we will be in New York, and we're hoping that we can get maybe some content in Times Square. Hopefully in Times Square.
Hopefully.
Fingers crossed if we get
We'll
time.
see if we can find any Americans.
Yeah, I think it would be good to. It would be interesting to ask them how they feel about having the World Cup in their own country.
What do they think about Scotland?
And what they think about us, of course. Well, of course, how they think about us coming in there. They're home. But right, guys, thank you very much. Good night. Have a great one, and enjoy the World Cup. And all I'm saying is, come on, Scotland.
Come on, Scotland.
We know we ain't no Argentina.